Welcome back to Anthony Lee Raw. Guys, today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap, and we're going to present the case that there's a chance that the bottom is in. I know most people are expecting lower, and I'm not saying that the bottom is in. That is for you to decide. We're just going to look at some of the data, y'all, and then you can make up your own minds. I do know this. Whenever the herd gets on one narrative or one belief, usually price does the opposite, okay? Not always, but you know what I'm talking about. So when most people, in fact, are getting extremely bearish, calling for lower prices, calling for this, calling for that, that's usually when things take off, and vice versa. So if you find this content useful, give us a thumbs up or give us a thumbs down. I don't really care. Subscribe to the channel, and I just ask you to look at things with an open mind. I really think a lot of people are about to get wrong-footed in this market, okay? When you expect one thing, when dumb money, no offense, that's what it's called, expects one thing, smart money usually does another. They just think differently. Guys, I'm taking a look at Bitstamp here, 1 week Bitcoin chart. Let's talk about the death cross. I have the weekly 50 and 100 SMA on the chart, and here are the times we've gotten it in the past, guys. Let's take a look. All right, starting off back in 2015, you get the death cross, and everybody was screaming for lower prices. The death cross, it is terrible. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going to zero. No, the bottom was already in by the time you get the death cross. Massive bull run. All right, let's fast forward here to 2019, we get the death cross. Same thing. I remember this. Everybody was calling for massively lower prices. Oh my gosh, here we go. Nope, the bottom was already in. Boom, massive bull market. Looking again, 2022, we get another death cross, the third death cross. Now, I will give you, this time we get the death cross here, and we did go lower a few weeks later, just barely. We took out the low by about $1,500, but then massive bull run. And this was the FTX collapse, right? The big scandal, FTX. And there's some data to suggest that if not for that scandal, and that was a global scandal in the crypto sector, that this would not have happened or did not have to happen. It did happen. I'll give you that. However, that's 2 out of 3. Now, fast forward, looking at today, we've already gotten the weekly death cross, guys. Everybody is calling for lower prices for the weekly death cross. However, 2 out of 3 times, the bottom was already in by the time we got this death cross. So, and then the one time that it wasn't in, we went lower by about $1,500. So, it's very, very likely that the bottom is in based upon this historical data or is very near, guys. So just keep that in mind. Weekly death cross. Let's fast forward. Look at Bjorn, 3-week Bjorn indicator on the bottom. This is an indicator that you can only get in our Discord or at AnthonyLeeRaw.com. Going over to the website here, you can join the VIP Discord and get this indicator for free, or you can buy it here for only $10. It's the best indicator you'll ever need, and you keep it for life, and you don't have to join the Discord that way. But anyway, looking at Bjorn, I'm on the 3-week time frame, guys. We have gotten the Bjorn 3-week volatility crossover only 3 times in history, now 4 while in a bear market, okay? We've gotten it several times outside of a bear market and got nice moves up. This indicator has shown the 3 previous times we got it while in the bear market. And when we got it here back in 2015, I'll zoom in a little more for you, the bottom was already in, okay? We got the cross here. The bottom was in back here. It took 4 bars. Now, this is 3-week bars, so that is about 12 weeks. It took 4 bars and moved up and out into a major bull run. But the low was already in, y'all. All right, looking at 2018, we got the cross down below. You can see the 3-week volatility cross. Stochastic is the gray line. It was flippy-floppy down low. By the way, back in 2015, Stochastic was below the 10th percentile and flippy-floppy down below as well. Same situation. Now, in this case, we got the volatility expansion above the orange 15. It was the following candle that set the low, the following 3-week candle. So 1 candle away after the confirmed Bjorn volatility cross and then major bull run. So 1 candle. It took 4 bars, by the way, same as here. 4 bars before you were really up and out of there. 4 bars before you really were up and out of there. Looking at 2022 now, guys. Same thing. You can see down below, Stochastic, the gray line is flippy-floppy down below 10th percentile. We get Bjorn volatility expansion above the orange line. That's the multicolor line is volatility. The low was already in, guys. You got the low 1 candle prior, so 3 weeks prior you got the low. The low was in by the time you got this cross. It took 3 bars here, 1, 2, 3, and then up and out. So 4 bars, 4 bars, 3 bars. And we just got Bjorn volatility expansion confirmation yesterday, guys. Yesterday. So it has taken 4 bars, and 3 bars before we got up and out of there. 2 out of the 3, the low was already in. The bottom was already in. So just like the death cross, very similar. Another marble in the jar that the low is in at least 2 out of 3 times, and it was only a few weeks later, really about 2 months later before you moved up and out of there. So let's see if that holds true this time, guys. Okay, let's look at the total supply and profit and loss, guys. Everybody's talking about time. It's not Q4. It's always Q4. Has to be Q4. Well, think about this, guys. Bitcoin every single time has reached, in each bear market has reached 10.5 million coins in a loss, okay? 10.5 million coins in a loss. We're currently at... on the drop that we had a couple of weeks ago, we reached 10.77, so 10.8 million coins on a loss. That is the most coins ever in a loss by Bitcoin. So I propose this to you. What if every single time you reach 10.5 million, it took until Q4 to get there? So it wasn't actually that it was Q4, that the timing mattered. It was more of how much of this on-chain data mattered, getting to 10.5 million coins at a loss. And if you get there sooner, do you still have to wait until Q4? I don't know. I use the analogy in Discord. Let's say you have a job. Let's say you're a brick mover. I don't know. Make up a job. Who cares? And let's say your job every day is to move 100 bricks from point A to point B. And every day it takes you from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. And one day you move 100 bricks. You know, you've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. One day you move 100 bricks and you get done at 2 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. like you have every other time. Do you still have to hang around the job site until 5 p.m. or is the job over? Can you go home now? You moved all 100 bricks earlier. Why not go home? Maybe that's the case with Bitcoin. We have hit the on-chain losses that we have historically hit every single bear market. In fact, exceeded it. So do we have to hang around to 5 p.m. or is the job done? Can we go on home now? I don't know the answer to that, but it is something to ponder. Maybe time has only been coincidental that it has taken that long to get that on-chain data, and we're ahead of schedule now. So just think about that, guys. All right, so move on. Let's look at total 2. Even if the low isn't in for Bitcoin, I do believe it is in for some of the altcoins, guys, and I'm going to show you historical precedents on that. Let's look at the last cycle. This is total 2. This is all of cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin. The low was set here in June of 2022. That is when Bitcoin, if we flip back, Bitcoin came down in June. Sorry about that, guys. Bitcoin came down in June of 2022. I know my chart's a mess. See if I can clear it up just a little bit. Bitcoin came down in June of 2022 right here. That is when total 2 set a low. Well, later on in Q4, Bitcoin came down and hit that 10.5 million coins at a loss, took out that June low. However, total 2 did not. Total 2 did not. It came back down, kind of a double bottom-ish here, but it did not take out its low. You know what that means, guys? That means some altcoins took out the low and some did not. Enough altcoins did not take out the low that it didn't even push total 2 down lower. So that means, I believe, some altcoins have already bottomed. Let's look at some altcoins during this time here. Let's go look at, I know that Ethereum did not take out its low later in the year. Here's Dogecoin. Dogecoin did not take out the low. This is Doge in that June of 2022. There's the low. You came back. You did not take it out as a poorly drawn line. I know, but you can see, you can clearly see you did not take it out. Ethereum, you did not take it out with Ethereum. Here's the June low. You came back, not even close to taking it out. Boom. Ethereum had already bottomed. Let's look at XRP. XRP is one of them. Same thing here. XRP came close. I'll put it on a little better line here so you guys can see it this time. XRP came close but did not take out the low. So I believe that some altcoins have already bottomed. It would take a significant amount to get some of these altcoins lower. Let me show you another interesting chart here, okay, that not a lot of people are showing, anybody really. This is the candles chart is the Russell 2000, and the blue line is total 2, okay, total 2 crypto market cap. The Russell 2000 is by far the most closely correlated chart to all of crypto, okay? And I mean, you can see it's almost exact, except for a couple of places, guys, except for a couple of places. Look back here in August, or excuse me, just the summer of 2021, basically. You got a little separated here, okay? You can see that the Russell, which is the candles, took off, and Bitcoin came down, and there was this big gap of separation. Well, what happened? Very, very, very rapidly, Total 2 played catch up, okay? Big, massive move up. Same thing happened right here in 2024. Boom. You could see that the Russell continued up, Total 2 headed down, had this good separation gap, and then very, very rapidly, Total 2 played catch up. Well, guys, we have an even bigger gap now. This is like a huge discrepancy here, biggest we've ever had before by far. So what's going to happen? I don't actually know. But if history is any indicator, you would look, especially if the Russell can hang out up here and not dump down, if you could hang out, not even set new highs, I believe you could see a big, big, big catch up by Total 2, guys. Just like we have the two previous time that this type of gap has happened. This type of it's not a depegging, but you know the correlation has produced this type of gap. So be on the lookout for this, guys. I think a lot of people, if this happens, a lot of people are going to get caught off guard, guys. That's why personally I have my altcoin bags packed and ready to go, and I'm going to tell you my thinking behind it. I'm personally on Fetch AI. That's one of my coins. I have a few coins, and this is my Fetch chart, part of my Fetch chart. Fetch has set a low this bull run of about 13 cents. Okay, remember, a lot of coins did not come take out their June low before headed out to the next bull run. Okay, so will Fetch do that? I don't know. Fetch did take it out last cycle, set the low here in June, had the rally, came back, took it out, and then rallied. So I don't actually know. But I do know this, guys. I predict Fetch going to $4.35, okay? Every single cycle, it's been a higher low and a higher high every single cycle. I have a lot of Fetch videos. Go over the channel and watch them and see why I project $4.35. But even if it does, really my minimum target is $2.20, okay? It's the one-to-one fib retracement level on market cap, okay? $2.20, which you've set a new high every single cycle, going into the fourth cycle now on Fetch on market cap and price. So 220, let's just assume we do 220, guys. Let's just assume. Fetch is at 16 cents right now. I just bought some more Fetch today. Am I really going to care if Fetch goes to $2.20 and I bought at 16 cents and did not buy at, say, 13 cents if we get a little bit of a dip? Am I really going to care? When I'm selling my Fetch for $2.20, do you really think I'm going to sit and say, gosh, I bought Fetch at 16 when I could have bought it at 13. I'm so upset with myself. No, I'm not going to care at all, guys. It's not going to matter at all. What is going to matter to me is if I look for 13 cents to get hit again, and Fetch runs up, and I'm looking for it to come back, and it doesn't come back, and I wind up having to FOMO in later at 30, 35 cents, and then right up. That is going to upset me, guys. So I'm not going to cry over pennies when I'm making dollars, okay? I'm perfectly okay if I have to ride this down 20 or 30% when I'm looking for a 2,000+% gain, okay? I just don't want to get left behind, and there's enough evidence. I'm not saying the low is in for Bitcoin or the altcoins, but there's enough evidence to suggest that it might be in. And even if it's not, there's way more than enough evidence to suggest that it is very, very, very close. So people who try to time the bitty bottom to the penny and the tippy top to the penny, those are the people that get wrecked, okay? I'm hoping to catch the meat of the move. The meat is that 80% somewhere in there. I'm hoping to catch that 80%, guys, and you'll make way more than enough. But if I FOMO in here at 30 cents, I'm going to cut my profits in half. So I'm not willing to do that. There's enough evidence to suggest the job is done. The bricks have been moved, and it's time to go home. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but I'm prepared. I'm ready. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I'll see you guys next time.